the second shot, and here is the second shot. And again, what I did is I edited in a way that makes you think that he was walking and he was just like straight walking through that pad. That's something that I learned that movies do, and I'm pretty sure somebody that knows a lot about film will correct me in the comments. I'm really not super knowledgeable about film. I'm a 3D artist that's starting to get into this film stuff. So what I did is then I go to this shot, which is following him. And one of the reasons why I selected this part in particular is because one of the things that I think makes that cinematic look good is the God rays that are coming through here. So you can see in the shot right here. Let me actually bring this, make it bigger. All right, so there you go. Now that it's all zoomed in, you can see that this is where I actually start, and I actually have some depth of field here. So I'm focusing on my character. Everything else is blurred out from the depth of field, which makes things look a lot more cinematic. If you don't have any depth of field, you might as well do some in-game or gameplay stuff, because that's not gonna look good. So one of the things that makes this shot look really nice is not only the depth of field, but the God rays coming through the trees. I really like how the God rays, or whatever you want to call these, the light scattering was coming through the trees. That made it look really cinematic. So that's one of the reasons why I chose this particular shot. So he is walking kind of like towards the clearing, so we can all see what is out there. And actually, this is a fully continuous shot, unlike the previous shot where I actually cut and then I come to this other camera, I actually continue, and this shot goes all the way around here, and it keeps going until the next part where he's actually running. Now this part, this is another part that took me a little while to figure out, because one of the things I didn't want in this part was to showcase what was going on. I wanted the burning of the village, I wanted that to kind of be a surprise for whoever was watching this. So I did the best I could to avoid showing that burning village over there in the background. And that's why I didn't do a full wide shot. Initially, I wanted to do a wide shot of him running, but then I chose against him to just keep the suspense, quote unquote. And so we can just look at him running and you're like, why is he running? And after that, you're surprised by oh yeah, the village is burning. Now, this is a stage where I have to talk about another modification that I did to the map, aside from putting the burning stuff over there, is there used to be a scarecrow right here. The problem with that scarecrow was that the simulation was just looping around. So what was happening is that the scarecrow was in the shot, and every time, like every couple of frames, the simulation will restart and it looked awful. So I had to take that out of there. I'm going to dig a little bit more into those simulations, those cloth simulations, to see how we can incorporate them in sequencer so we don't have too much trouble dealing with them, and I can actually have some more of those nice cloth flowing with the wind. But after I actually took that, I kept my camera flowing, and one of the things I show on my sequencer tutorial is the fact that you can see some of these are circles, some of these are triangles. The triangles means the animation is going on a linear fashion, and the circles mean that the animation has some ease in and ease out situation. Again, there's the sequencer tutorial if you want to know more about that. Otherwise, this thing is going to be many hours long. So right now, we're just going over here, and there he goes. So here actually I did the movement a little bit faster, probably a little bit faster than I should have. That's one of the things that after the fact I was like, yeah, I should have tailored the movement a little bit better in this part. But he is just desperate to get to whatever is going on right now. So again, one of the things I did is this character doesn't come with animations. I actually had to retarget some animations from the advanced combat system, another asset that was free at some point. That's why I really recommend that you follow our Discord. There's a link in the description below if you want to join the Discord, because I'm always shouting out whenever there's free stuff on the Unreal Marketplace that I always use on my videos. So I retarget that animation, and I tried my best. I know I could have done a little bit of a better job of him running, and then he goes out of the frame. Now there's a little bit of goofing around and trickery that I did here, because if we actually go out, you can see that he is not running in a nice straight line. So it's actually, if you look at this character from this point, you can see that something's not correct. So because I was working with some free assets, there's probably some other assets that I could have purchased from the marketplace that would have given me a little bit more of the animations that I needed, but I work with what I have. So what I did is I pick an angle that would allow me to showcase my character without showing some of the problems that were being generated by using that animations. And that's some of the things that I've seen that they do in movies. If you look at a lot of behind the scenes in movies, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors that you have to use in order to make sure that what the viewer is looking at is the best thing that you can do at that moment. So I'm just going through the motion, and then once we are here, actually I think I should go to the other camera. Let me go this one. Okay, this is the last camera, and I didn't start from the very beginning of this camera just because I think this was too low of a shot, but I also wanted the him running past the camera, because again, I've been watching a lot of YouTubers that do film, and one of the things that I see is when they're filming somebody running, they usually start by filming the scene before the actor is running, and then the actor comes running past them, and that's how they do the film. So I took that as a bit of an example, and that's how I did this part where he's actually just running and running and you don't know what's going on, and then he backs away. Here is one of the parts where animation blending really helps. So I did a bit of animation blending in this part. It wasn't enough. I should have done bigger blending, so it was more apparent that he was just like stopping right there. So one animation that I would have liked to have here is him falling down to his knees, and that's actually why I went up, because that animation, when he stops and he goes idle. So that's why I choose to bring up the camera and showcase what's going on instead of focusing the camera on the character, because if I did, then he would just be looking around, which it didn't look bad, but it didn't look very dramatic. So if I would have found an animation that would allow me to have him just fall to the ground to his knees, kind of like, you know, being really sad and aggravated, I would have probably focused more on him, but that wasn't the case. So what I did is I went up and I showed the village burning. There's a little bit of a zoom that I did here, just in case I needed more of like a zoomed in, but I think I didn't end up using that shot. And most of the things that I have here, they have depth of field. So if you take one thing out of this video, the most important thing, if you're doing any cinematic, even if you're doing a cinematic in-game, is make sure you are adjusting your focus distance manually. So that's one of the best things you can do. It's actually super easy to do. There's even a eyedrop tool that you can use over here. Let's just go to focus settings. So you can just use this eyedrop tool and pick whatever you want to focus on, and then just dialed in if you need to dial in a bit more. I like to keep it on round numbers, but that's a personal preference. And you also have to play with your focal length. So those are two things that I like to play with to kind of get that blurriness of the environment. So again, goes here, and you are looking at the village burning. So I'm gonna get out of the camera. The way that I managed to get that is actually super easy. What I did is I reused what Quixel already made for this map. So there is another point of this map where things were burning. So if you open the map for the first time, that fire is actually all around here. So that fire is actually burning some of these houses, and as you can see, there's already some burning around here, and you can see the frame rate is getting pretty low. So that's why I actually took the assets from here and brought them all the way over here instead of actually cloning them, because that would have just made the project so much heavier. And if I turn on the icons and elements, you can see that here are all the fire elements. I tried to place them where there was grass, so it looked like it was burning the grass and it wasn't just burning the ground. Probably should have taken out some of here, but I put some on the houses, and again, to me it actually looked really nice. The smoke that Quixo chose for this specific map was really good looking, so that's why I kept that. And most of the things I kept them as they were. I actually want to try this map with the ultra dynamic sky, because this is a very static sky. So I want to, in coming videos, I'm going to try this map with kind of like a snowy situation and a raining situation, just to test out some things. But again, just adding more particles, and that is it. That's what I did for this short cinematic. But there's one thing that's not here in Unreal that I think it's really important, and sometimes it gets overlooked. I've seen many short films made in Unreal that people post on YouTube, and one of the things that they overlook that would make those short film a lot better is sound. Some of them have amazing graphics, but there is no sound. So that's one of the things that I was very adamant on, was adding a little bit of music, adding a little bit of Foley effects, which I got from Epidemic Sound. That's a like royalty-free place that you could subscribe to. Just pay a monthly fee. I'm not sponsored by them, just FYI. I pay all of that with my own money. And they get you some sounds. They have some Foley effects. They have some nice music that I added to this. And I just did a little bit of sound mixing, nothing too big, because even though I used to play guitar and record songs, if you look at some of my really old videos, you'll probably find one of my songs. But I just did some quick sound mixing in Adobe Premiere just to make this more ominous, because if you listen to the cinematic without the sound, it actually makes no sense. And if you listen to the little skit that I did for last Friday, that's another thing what makes it funny. I think it's one of the sounds that happens in that skit. I would like to know if you guys enjoy breakdowns like this, because I've been doing a lot of intros, I've been testing a lot of stuff. So if you like these breakdowns, let me know. If you didn't like these breakdowns, also let me know. I would like to see what you think of that in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you really want to help the channel, there's the Patreon. There's some perks for you if you join the Patreon. The Discord, that's really cool. We all have over 300 people over there right now that can help you if you have any more questions, and I'm usually hanging around there too. I'll see you in the next video.